All right, everybody, welcome back to the Xavier Klein Owner Series here on Madden 24. The Los Angeles Rams now are setting up for the 2025 draft. I think when it comes to the free agency, we did pretty well. We were able to acquire some great talent, and I think this is going to set us up to try to focus on best player available at certain positions for sure. When you look at the O-line, we decided to bring in Jedrick Wills, a former Brown, mainly because I wanted to bring in some just medium age talent when it comes to it, like someone who's been in for a decent amount of years but not a whole lot. I also wanted to bring in a veteran, and then not necessarily lean on Zion Nelson. I think Nelson could be a very good fit for us over time, but my hope is that maybe we can move him to a guard position or something like that for Kevin Dotson, or if Avila doesn't work out, we could just slide Nelson over to left guard and kind of work from there. We do have Jedrick Wills at left tackle with Steve Avila at left guard, David Andrews, a former New England Patriot and Chief, I believe. We're going to keep him. I think he's Patriot only. But we wanted to bring him in to just help out with the center position because I definitely saw some issues in that space. Kevin Dotson's still here. He's doing okay. Now with Avila, my concerns really is just his health over time, and having Schaefer here along with Galvin's going to kind of secure that spot. And like I said, we still got Nelson on this depth. Tight end group had a little bit of a change where we brought in Noah Gray from the Chiefs along with Tommy Tremble. We still have players like Ty Carey on this team, but I wanted to bring in some other talent in the tight end group to really just surround this second-year quarterback with just more talent. Now, Cooper Kupp, I thought about trading since we decided to do a tag and trade for Aaron Donald to send him to the Bears. I felt like, you know what, with Cam Ward, it's best to bring in and keep him around to ensure there's a secure receiver for him setting up for the season. Now we do have other veterans here like Odell Beckham Jr. and Russell Gage, but there's some other talent here like Washington and Moreno Cropper coming off the practice squad with Puka Nacua. The running back group is still pretty much the same, but what we're going to do is have Braylon Allen be the starting running back for this new offense. Cam Ward is the dog. He's going to be our focal point here at QB. And my hope that can work out for us. When you look at the defensive side, there was definitely some changes occurring. One is that the middle linebacker group had a change with Ernest Jones not wanting to re-sign with us. So we brought in some good veterans who I think can do some great things. Jerome Baker along with Zaire Franklin. Now with that Aaron Donald trade, we were able to bring in a player in Noah Sewell. So I'm pretty excited to see that, and hopefully he can continue to step up. We do have a veteran in Van Ginkel here too that I felt like could really help out with this team. When you look at the corners, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Christian Fulton are still there along with Kobe Durant. We did bring in a younger corner as well that I feel could be a very solid slot option in Kelvin Joseph. The D-line with a three-man set off this 3-4. We got AJ Epinesa as a backup along with Chico Bennett. But Yetur Gross-Matos, I felt has been playing pretty well. Kobe Turner's now going to be taking on that defensive tackle role. But we also had that acquisition of Zach Pickens, who came over with the Noah Sewell trade for Aaron Donald. And then we also got a good veteran here in Romeo Quara. And we still have Roy Lopez too. So the D-line, I think, has a good group of players here. I'm hoping we can kind of make that work. We still need to draft a corner, so that's something I'll pay attention to in this upcoming draft, potentially, and more than likely, because we're very, very thin when it comes to the salary, and that has a lot to do with just when it came down to it. With the Aaron Donald one, we went ahead and cut Matthew Stafford. That gave us some room for the future, but we also, with the franchise tag, half of the salary goes to the Rams while the other half heads to Chicago. So we took a big hit. We have a $54 million cap hit this year. But once that's gone, you're talking about a big opportunity for us to have some decent amount of cap setting up for next season. So I'm hoping we can really work out and get it going here. When you look at the draft, we are number 5 overall, and there's some really good players here. My hope is that we'll get a chance to grab the guy that I really want, which is Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a very solid corner who in college could play 2 ways, wide receiver as well. But I'd like to just have him be that guy that can play corner alongside McKinstry. So if we can have that corner 1-2, Christian Fulton could be that all-time starting corner in the slot, and that allows me just to feel more comfortable putting these players on an island and allowing us to just go at the QB with the rest of the 7. There are some other positions here that I'm hoping we can grab. When it comes to the QB spot, there's only one player I'm potentially looking at to help out Cam Ward, and that's going to be Walker Howard out of Ole Miss. His throw under pressure is pretty solid with an A, and my hope is that with his decent or good throwing power, it can work out. Now he's also got some good speed on him as well, so having that kind of mobility will really help us out if we have to lean on him. So Walker Howard is a potential prospect for us. When it comes to wide receivers, I have one person that comes to mind in Luther Burden, coming out of Missouri, who's got good speed on him and good catch in traffic. I looked at some big targets here that I feel like could be just a different type of receiver here. Kendrick Law out of Alabama, who's 6'5", 235. Niles McDowell, who's 6'5", 221 out of Iowa. And Ricky Dockery out of USC, who's 6'5", 232. So these are bigger receivers. They hold a different type of frame that I think could be a little different, that could show some versatility for our team. Give a different look at in certain formations. And then I am looking at a UDFA here that we may draft late in the rounds, and that's Ricardo Campbell, who's got just straight speed, 4.31, 4.29 type of speed. This is the kind of player here that, for me, could really be the replacement for like a Tutu Atwell or something like that. Tight end group we didn't look at. O-line, it was really guards. Cole Hudson, who's a round 1-2, I think he could be pretty decent for us, and a potential substitute if Avila just can't figure it out. We got Kirk Garfield, who's also UDFA, that I thought was pretty decent. When you look at the right guard position, you got Ernest Green out of Georgia, 6'5", 320. He's got B's across the board at certain key spots, but I think looking and considering the fact that he's the strongest guard in this year's draft, that's going to help us out as well. So nice little late round pick. Defensive line, I definitely looked at quite a bit. I looked at Michael Williams out of Georgia as a potential first round pick, or maybe if he falls to us in the second, that'd be pretty sick. David Bailey out of Stanford. You have Derek Moore out of Michigan, 6'6", 278. That was a player I was really watching in this year's draft. Aaron Graves out of Iowa, 6'5", 259. B finesse move. And then you got Gabriel Brownlow Dindy out of Texas A&M, 6'6", 280. B power move. And Tim Jefferson of Syracuse, 6'3", 271. A little bit of a smaller type of defensive end, but he's got a B finesse that I think is quite intriguing. You look at the right end, the player that I'm considering right now for a pick in the first 2 rounds is going to be someone like Justice Finkley out of Texas. He's 6'4", 276 with a A power move. Now, Shamar Stewart is also in that range, so we might consider him as well, knowing that he has a B block shed. That's pretty clean right there. Dennis Sutton could be another player in the second round if he falls to us. Would be pretty nice. Defensive tackles, I'm always looking for guys to kind of just continue to feed that D-line. Deontay Walker is a round 1 cat, along with Jaheim Otis. These are very big freaking defensive linemen. Kentucky 6'6", 348 in Walker, and Otis being 6'5", 330. Both have a power move, but one has a guaranteed A block shed, which is really intriguing right there. There is a UDFA I'm looking at in Tim Moreland. He's a smaller type of tackle, 6'1", 305, but he's got a finesse move of A. So if this guy ends up falling to us late, I think that could be, maybe a grab in the UDFAs if necessary, or if we grab him in the 7th, I wouldn't be too upset there. The linebacker role is still definitely something we have to focus on, as I think it's still a little weak. You got Byron Young there, and then we got the 2 veterans in the interior line, but I'm not too comfortable with Van Ginkel being our guy. So I'd like to consider a player here like Marvin Jones Jr., who we did do some focusing on, and I think he's going to fit with what we want to do. So hopefully if he falls to us in the second, that could be the player we snag up right here. Marvin Jones has A zone coverage, A tackle with a B block shed, and B pursuit. Decent speed in certain angles, and he's got all the attributes that really fit with what we're going to do with the A power move. We got some other players here that could be okay in the second and third rounds, but I am looking for some zone coverage A. So Deshaun McCullough could be a really clean player as well to grab here. Interior line, this is more of just depth for the future, because we do have Zaire Franklin and Jerome Baker, but you just never know. And I want to make sure that if we can't keep the people that I would like, it's good to bring in some other guys here that I think can do some things. We got a big athlete here in Tucker Culver, who's a day 3 guy, and you know, maybe he could play some special teams until we need him to start. Cyrus Moss from Miami, A, pursuit, and B, block shed is what intrigued me, along with the zone. So I'm hoping he can be available for us when ready to draft. Cortland's Durham here, B, pursuit. He's 6'5", 257. So he's a little lengthier kind of guy, a little lanky, but I think his speed could get to us, and hopefully with his finesse, maybe he can get to the QB quickly. Corners, as you can see here, I'm trying to draft some corner early, and it's gonna, if Travis Hunter ends up not making it to us, then I will consider some other guys here like Will Johnson, maybe in the second round or something like that, or Toriano Pride. So the hope is Travis Hunter. All the mocks kind of say that for us, so that's what I'm going to try to work with here. As far as kickers, there's only one guy I'm looking at, and that's Lane McKillop out of Tennessee. He's got A, kick accuracy, and A, short accuracy. So my hope is that although he's got a decent kick power, when you look at those ratings as far as like decent and good and stuff, it's dependent upon how it equals to the kickers as a whole. So although it may say that, maybe he's actually pretty decent, and they are pretty strong. So that's where we're at with it. You know, I'm ready for this draft. I'm ready to roll, and hopefully we can kind of kick butt here. So let's get it going, everybody. Let's knock out this 2025 draft. So the first overall pick is going to the New Orleans Saints. I think they were projected to go QB, potentially. Still have Derek Carr, so I'm quite sure they can go a couple different ways here. Can't remember what the mock shows for them. I can't recall. And it is. So the New Orleans Saints are going after Shadur Sanders. I think he's going to be put in a pretty decent spot. His O-line is okay. They're getting a little older, but he still has Alvin Kamara, and I think with the new coach there, they're going to do just fine. Steelers are up, and the Steelers have a QB in Kenny Pickett. They could go wide receiver as they did last season, and they're going to do it. They're going to grab Evan Stewart out of Texas A&M. Very good wide receiver, considered the best wide receiver in this year's draft. So I think the Steelers are trying to figure it out. Deontay Johnson was on the free agency signing, so they don't have anybody outside of George Pickens, Freiermuth. So see what happens here. Chargers drafting early, and they're going to go Michael Williams out of Georgia. Considered one of the top left end defensive ends in this year's draft. So they're going to try to figure it out. They got Khalil Mack, they got Joey Bosa, but those guys tend to get hurt, and they need to get some more youth in there. They got Tua Palutu, who I think is pretty good, but they need more. Patriots are up here, and quarterback wouldn't be a bad idea for them, but they're going to go left tackle. They're going to grab Will Campbell here, and Will is not a bad player. I just feel like the Patriots could have snagged something a little cleaner for them. Be a quarterback too, because Mac Jones ain't it. So for us, this is not a tough decision. This is not a horrible, scary move. I think if Travis Hunter was drafted right there, then I'd be more concerned. And I'd have to figure out, you know, do we go with Dennis Sutton, who's an early pick, or Harold Perkins? But this isn't a tough decision for us. Travis Hunter here has man coverage 3'1", 6'1", 190, 22 years old. A press, A man coverage fits our scheme. He's going to do a lot of work for us, and I think this guy deserves to really ball out. So I'm hoping him and Kool-Aid McKinstry really get to work, and that'll be our corner duo for the remaining franchise. Travis Hunter here is a hidden dev with 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 92 change of direction there, with 89 agility and 93 jumping. So I'm excited for him. I think Kool-Aid can get to work. I think he's going to do a lot of great things for us. So pretty happy to have him as a Los Angeles Ram. So now we have the Texans coming up here. And the Texans are struggling in this series. compared to the Big Blue Dynasty, and they got plenty of opportunity here. They got Will Anderson and CJ Stroud from the previous draft that started this league, and then you're talking about them. I believe they snagged up a O-lineman, so now they're going Will Johnson, corner. Not a bad move for them. They snag up the corner to pair up with Derek Stingley. Good decision. Bengals are up in there, and they're going to go defense. Harold Perkins, considered the best linebacker in this year's draft. Not a bad decision for them. The Jets are up, and they're going to go tight end Mason Taylor. So this one's really strange for me, right? When you look at the QB situation, they have Malik Cunningham, Jaden Daniels, and Jameis Winston. Not sure how that's working out there. And Jaden Daniels, this was an earlier draft, so they didn't really think Jaden was that good, and it's showing there. So really surprising they didn't go QB, but I guess Jameis is going to be the guy. The Bucks are up now, and the Bucks can go after a couple different needs, and they're going to go defensive tackle Bear Alexander, with the Green Bay Packers going Davidson Igbonason from Ohio State, a corner. Now what we're going to do is probably rock with our watching the first round, just kind of see how it folds out, and then after that, every pick after that, we're just going to speed to ours, because I don't want to get too in tune with a lot of this picks. Washington's up, and Washington's going to go ahead and take Dennis Sutton here, trying to find some more depth there on that D-line, which isn't a bad move for them. Lions are up, and they got Keon Grays out of Ohio State, wide receiver. Jacksonville takes Deion Walker, defensive tackle. Seattle's going to take Jaheim Otis. That was one of the players on our list. Vikings take Dasan McCullough. The Panthers take Malachi Starks. Luther Burden heading to the Titans. Shamar Stewart, right end, to the Dolphins. The Colts are going to take Shiloh Sanders, the other son. He's heading to Indianapolis. Kelvin Banks, left tackle, to the Texans. Jeremiah Alexander to Alabama. They got the San Francisco 49ers snagging up Marvin Jones. He was a true round one, like late round one, early round two talent. Tough to see him there, but now he's going to a very nasty team, so we're going to see that guy twice a year. Baltimore's up, and they're going Tegra Shabola out of Ohio State, left tackle. Bears take Josh Connerly here out of Oregon. And my New York Football Giants take a running back, Donovan Edwards, out of Michigan. Really weird. I don't know. They got J.J. McCarthy in this series, so maybe they're thinking for the future for sure. Patrick Payton out of Florida State. You got the Broncos snagging up their future QB and Drew Aller out of Penn State. The Las Vegas Raiders take a QB themselves, Cade Klubnik out of Clemson. Eagles take Dominique Jackson, corner, while the Bills take Sonny Styles out of Ohio State, strong safety. Aaron Anderson heading to Dallas, wide receiver out of LSU. And the Super Bowl champion Eagles are going to go ahead and take Tyler Booker, left guard. So we're going to go ahead and speed and get to ours now. And the Patriots snagged up Abdul Carter right before us. So what do we got here, right? There are some players that aren't on our board. So I don't necessarily want to grab them. I kind of want to just see what we got in some other pieces here. Right end could be a nice find for us. Justice Finkley. This was a player I'd like to have here. 6'4", 276 out of Texas. His stats aren't the most incredible, but I think it'd be pretty nice. Now we do have another second round pick, so maybe we can wait on him. So knowing that we snagged up a corner, do we grab something else here, right? Toriano Pride is out there, 6'2", 202, B zone, B press, B catching. So he's a different type of corner that we know that we currently have as a scheme. So that could be a player we can snag up. We could go after David Bailey here. He is a strong freaking defensive end. and he is kind of okay across the board. So those are some of those picks in this round that we could potentially grab. It's not necessarily amazing picks here, right? Maybe we can potentially look at a trade. That wouldn't be a bad idea for us. We're still a very young team. We got to work through it. This is Mike Tomlin's new team, so he's the head coach. So let's see what we can get. So we can get like a 2-year future first round, along with a 7th this year. Buccaneers say, hey man, we'll give you a 3rd round this year, a 2nd next year, and a 5th next year. The Vikings are going to give us their 1st next year, along with a 2025 7th round pick this year. Vegas giving us a future first. Same thing with the Falcons. Colts say, hey man, we'll give you a 2nd round this year, a 4th round this year, a 6th round next year, and a 7th in 2027. That's not a bad play. And then the Cardinals, they're trying to play hardball there. So the move for us, in my opinion, is snagging up another 1st round pick next year. I think for us, knowing that's going to be Archie Manning's draft class, maybe we wait and see what Archie can do, right? 2026 draft could be pretty fun, and that could be one where we don't really know much about it. Archie Manning is in that draft class, though. Maybe that's something we do. Or, you know what? Maybe we just say 2023 and 2024 draft class is enough, and then we just roll away with 2026 and go after something else. But I'll think about it. But I think this 1st round pick is quite intriguing. We're not going to get anything this year, which is kind of tough. But I think that's a fair type of move. We get a 1st round next year. We still have a 2nd round pick. We get an additional 7th round to kind of fill out our roster. This might help us from a comp perspective as well. I don't think there's any other team that's trying to give us a 2026 1st rounder. Now, when we look at these picks right here, we could get a 3rd this year, but that's a Cardinal, which we ain't doing. Tampa's going to give us a 3rd and a 2nd next year. Tampa could be interesting. Or Vikings. So, you know, we can get like a boatload of picks like the Colts. The Colts are going to give us a 2nd round this year. We're just going to move back a little bit, which isn't bad. We would just move back, I think, mid-round. Get a 4th this year, 6th next year, and a 7th in the 2027. So I don't think that's honestly that bad. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I thought about the Vikings one, but you know what? I don't want to trade with the NFC. Let's go ahead and bring in the Colts here. Make the trade. We're just going to move back a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. We just go back to 19, and then we got pick 24, so we're going to be just okay. So here we go. A Dolphin snagged up a left tackle, and where do we stand? So Toriano Pride's still out there at this range. As you can see, there's a lot of players here that I did not like this draft. They just didn't really fit with what I was trying to do. So, you know, we could snag up, you know, we can potentially, oh, the QBs are gone. Wow. So Walker Howard, we could snag him up if we want to. Let's look at wide receivers. A3 guys. And a tight end, left guard. DFS. I think we're going to go ahead and grab another corner. Continue to load up the defense, because Kobe Durant isn't necessarily the end-all be-all for us. He's a round 1-2 kind of guy, 6'2", 202 out of Clemson. Like I said, he's a different kind of corner. Maybe we could throw him into a nickel, you know, be our nickel corner if necessary. But he's a stronger kind of guy, different kind of look. He blocks shit, so maybe we could put him in the slot and just have him blitz from time to time. So I like that move there. Hidden Dev, 91 speed, 92 acceleration, 92 agility, 91 jumping. We got a very good corner here, man. And his man coverage is F, but I think we're going to be fine in developing him. So really good. First 2 picks end up being corners. Didn't expect that. Got a couple more picks. Now it looks like Eni White gets snagged up there by the Ravens before us. What else is out there? What could we do? Kenyatta Jackson is the player I was considering here. 6'1", 234, 22 out of Ohio State. He was the exact opposite of Marvin Jones Jr., but I think with his tackling, fundamentals are there. He's got decent vertical jump. His 3-cone shows that he's changing directions okay, but he's got elite acceleration via awareness. Zone coverage could be in either direction, so that kind of worries me a little bit. Kenyatta Jackson is the player, though, that's the highest on my board. When it comes to left outside linebackers, we are in need of one. So that is something that we could snag up here. You do got Shamar James, interior linebacker here, who is a freak athlete. But do we need him here? I'd say no. When it comes to the QB, I think Walker Howard might make to us in the third. So I think what we're going to do here is snag up Kenyatta Jackson of Ohio State. He's the highest man on our board. Makes a whole lot of sense. We need a left outside linebacker. Happy to take him. Welcome to the team, Kenyatta Jackson. 82 speed, 91 acceleration. This guy's got some freaking oomph. 75 strength, which is okay. Agility's not the greatest, but you know, he'll battle between him and Van Ginkel. So we'll see the rotation in the preseason, see how that goes for those Los Angeles Rams. We fast forward to our next pick here, and right before us are the Patriots snagging up Jacoby Spells. So that being said, right, do we got our QB here? He's available. Do we want to use it now? I think I'm willing to wait, right? We got some other QBs on our roster, so it's not to say we gotta do it. So I want to consider some other decisions here. What could be out there outside of Walker? I kind of want to choose the QB, but I think I want to look at some ends here. Now, left end, right end isn't necessarily a need. Michigan, Derek Moore, though, is intriguing to me. He's one of the strongest on the board, not the most agile. Granted, he's not the most agile, but 6'6", 278, man, it's just that's a freak type of side. Now, we got Yetur Gross-Matos on the team. We got Khalil Mack, but Khalil ain't going to be here forever. We only got him for one more year. So do we find a guy that could really work out for us? Now, he's 4'8". That's pretty slow. So that kind of worries me a little bit. I think the middle linebacker spot isn't necessarily the most exciting thing to bring up. I was looking at our Mason Thomas here, A zone coverage. He's the fastest linebacker in this draft. Changing directions elite along with the speeds elite. A awareness, A zone coverage. That's what we're going to do. Oh, crap. Oh, we got him. Okay. Oh, man, that scared me. So, our Mason Thomas, I got to make sure to pause next time. I like him, man. We'll talk about his stats later. I made a mistake. I didn't pause. So, we get a pick here now in the 4th round. Let's kind of see what we do on this one. We got a second 4th round pick as well, so we got to take advantage of these moves right here. You got Gabriel Brownlow Dindy. 6'6", 280, A power move, A tackle. He's 23 years old, a little older, but this guy is a freak athlete. I'm all about this dude. This is a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, so he's falling right in our lap here. You got to take that chance. Gabriel Brownlow Dindy, welcome to the team here. Normal dev, 82 acceleration, 82 speed, 86 acceleration, 83 speed. This is a good move for us. And like I said, we're trying to figure out heir apparents for Khalil Mack. We may not be able to do everything with Khalil that Khalil can do, but if we can find some pieces to kind of do certain things that he can do in a conglomerate, I say why the heck not. So next pick right now is going to be in the 5th round. And we got 2 5th round picks this year as well. We definitely had some decisions to make now. Kevin Coleman is still out there. Now, this guy, I can see why. It's a little trickery right there. He's probably has a decent OVR, but nothing speaks like he's a really good player, so I'm not too concerned there. We got some day 3 guys here, and one of the players I was looking at was Niles McDowell. You do got Tim Jefferson here. Now, actually, we only got 1 pick in the 5th round. So when I see something like that, I got to think about what's our need, right? And, you know, you got Niles McDowell here, B release, decent speed, 4.5 at that size is pretty good, and his jumping is solid. Solid speed, solid acceleration. My concerns is, can he catch? He's got D catching. So I got to worry about that. A spec catch is good, but I have to worry about that right there, right? Is he going to be able to do some things for us that are going to be so key in this position? He is on our board though, and he's considered the best on our board at this time. So I think that's not a bad move for us. Defensive line isn't the specific need for us there. We could go after Tucker Culver, who's later in this, deeper in this one. He's a freak athlete, can play special teams for us in the interim, and that might be something to do maybe in the 6th round. So I think we just got to continue to follow our board. Our board's doing the right things for us. It's having us track what we need to do, and having a big receiver like this, 8th-round pick, nothing wrong with taking a chance. I look at it like this: if you look at the Steelers, which is considered a top fit for this guy, if Mapletron, right? Who's that guy? Chase Claypool. If he was drafted in the 5th round, I don't think anyone would be as upset. He was drafted in the early 2nd round. I think that's what makes people upset. So I think he was drafted in the 5th. No one would worry. Like, hey, he's a 5th round pick. But Niles McDaniel, I think, can be very good for us. What's going on here? Stupid. I'm stupid. I guess I selected the round. Oh my gosh, I'm a moron. It's a 5th round. All right, snag up the wide receivers. Like, okay, now we got the guy. I think this is a good move for us. Welcome to the team, Niles McDowell, 6'5", 221, 23 years old, out of Iowa. I think he's a good player. 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 89 change of direction. This guy could be intriguing for us, man. I think this is going to be a good play. And again, it's about focusing on needs. You need a big receiver, something a little different. We're going to head to the 6th round now. And this is where I hope we could find that middle linebacker I was looking at, Tucker. He was deep on the depth here, but it doesn't look so good. Ricky Dockery is on the list. That's another wide receiver we could snag up here. You got DT Moreland. Now we're in the UDFA range, right? So these are the guys. It's Ricky Dockery. You got Kurt Garfield, Tim Moreland, and oddly enough, that receiver that I was looking at in the draft, like in the UDFA range, isn't there anymore. Oh no, it is Ricky Dockery, right? No. Oh, I didn't know Ricky Dockery's 6'5", 232 with this speed. What the heck? 4.43. What? Dude, we might have found a unicorn. 6'5", 232. Snag him up, dude. 90 speed, 90 acceleration. Oh my gosh. I thought he was a smaller guy. I'll take it, dude. So we picked up 2 6'5" guys back to back there in this draft. The 5th and 6th round. I think that's not bad. Something unique for the Rams. You know, they don't usually pick up those. Well, you kind of. McCutcheon was a decent sized receiver in the late round. So we got pick number 31 of the 7th round. And let's look at what's out there, right? We could grab a guard if we really wanted to, but when I look at the guard position right there, we got 2, 5, 8, 9, 11 O-linemen, so we don't necessarily need that. The D-line has 4, 7, 9 D-linemen, so we don't necessarily need that. I think it's an opportunity for us to snag up a guy here in Kane McKillop. Dude is probably considered the best kicker in this year's draft. It's not saying much, but I'd say why the heck not? Let's snag him up. 89 kick power and 77 acceleration, so this guy can move. 75 speed. So I think this is going to be decent for us. We're not going to put him in a spot that's going to be too tough. With A accuracy, my hope is that we can get in range, right? Kick some like 50-yarders and hopefully kind of succeed in that space. So not the end-all be-all, not the craziest of drafts, but I think this puts us in a really good spot and sets us up for the future. So to recap here, let's check out what our draft class looks like. You got Travis Hunter, 82 overall. 82 overall. My goodness. He's rocking number 12 here. I don't know if that's really the great number. I'm trying to think what would be a nice number for him. Do we got something in the 20s? 33 would be kind of clean for him. 5? Oh yeah, 5 would be nice. Oh, I guess he's a superstar. I saw that on accident. I'm an idiot. Go to edit appearance. So I screwed that up, so I know he's a superstar now. That's on me. I think everything else is clean. I screwed that up. So Travis Hunter is number 5. Oh, no, I screwed that up. I need to change his jersey. Give him Jalen Ramsey's former number there. We then drafted Tony Pride after we traded some picks away. Toriano Pride, 6'2", 202. Dude's big. And I think he's going to be pretty solid for us. 91 speed, 92 acceleration, zone coverage. I think we got another slot that's going to compete with Kobe Durant, or Christian Fulton, excuse me. We then went after a linebacker here in Kenyatta Jackson. 91 acceleration here, 79 tackle, zone coverage not so great, so we're gonna have to pay attention to that one. But him and Van Ginkel, they're gonna battle it out for that left outside linebacker spot. We also decided to snag up another linebacker here. I said, why the heck not? And R. Mason Thomas ends up being a 64 overall, so he's gonna be fighting to even make this team. He'll probably most likely be on a practice squad, but we got some other guys here. Brownlow Dindy, he is a 69 overall, 82 speed, 86 acceleration, 72 power move. It's a decent start off point right there. We then went after 2 freaking big ol' wide receivers. Kendrick Law, 89 speed, 91 acceleration, is Kendrick Law out of Alabama. Oh man, did I auto pick him? I don't remember Kendrick Law. And then we snagged up Niles McDowell. I think I auto picked him. Niles McDowell. He's 89 speed, 89, 75 catching. A little worried about that one. Then we go Ricky Dockery here. 68 overall. He's a big dude, 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 79 catching. This is doable. That's a doable type of situation there. And then we snagged up the kicker, who ends up being a 71 overall kicker. He's got 89 kick power, 84 accuracy. So this is a very good kicker for us that could set us up for the future. Now, I want to check out in our division, right? How did they do? They snagged up Jaheim Otis here, 76 overall, 6'5", 330. 81 block shed and 81 power move. Ooh, that's going to be good. They then went after a defensive end in Jafari Harvey, 6'2", 254. So they're just beefing up that defense. And then they snagged up Derek Moore, followed by Jaheim Singletary here. That was a corner. He's got hidden dev. So they're loading up the corners. They got Tyreek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. And they snagged up Kenya Bates here. 68 overall. He's actually not bad. More of an elusive back. Okay. Let's check out the Cardinals next. And the Cardinals snagged up Patrick Payton. 73 overall with a hidden dev. Doesn't actually do anything great. Block shed is there. But I don't know. That pick might not be the greatest for them. Snagged up a left tackle, though, in Zach Rice. What they're going to do there. They got Paris Johnson, and I think they drafted Olu Fushanu last season, right? No, they got this is the series with Marvin Harrison, so getting a left tackle is going to be key. Then they snagged up Carter Weidman here. 97 throw power. Whoa, this guy's actually pretty good. Not too great when it comes to short passing, but dude's pretty solid. And then the last team that's in the West, right? It's Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Niners. Let's see what them Niners did. They went Marvin Jones Jr., 74 overall. And he's really good. Not the greatest, but alongside freaking Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, he was just fine. And they snagged up Tim Keenan here, 6'5", 289. Oh, I don't think he's going to make that team. They grabbed up a tight end, 74 overall. Ooh, maybe a George Kittle replacement there. They don't have a lot of draft picks, but bad. Not bad for them. So all in all, the draft was all right. Wasn't the greatest, but we also got players of need. We are now going to be at 76 players, so you're going to see us probably needing to cut somebody. If I'm going to cut anybody, it's probably going to be a wide receiver. And before we even start, I think this is where we're probably going to have to assess that real quick. With 76 players on the team, I want to make that decision now versus later. So who are we going to cut? I think we're going to go ahead and let Moreno Cropper leave. So we're going to go ahead and release Jalen Moreno Cropper. We wish him the best. We got a lot of freaking receivers, man. This is going to be a fun time. We'll see who's going to step up, right? We got some older receivers. Nakua's going to have to work through this. I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to see one of these rookies stepping up. They're all big. We picked up every big wide receiver. Niles McDowell. Oh, I did draft him. Niles McDowell, Kendrick Law, and then Dockery ended up falling to us. So I guess I didn't realize I snagged up freaking 3 6'5" receivers. But that's different, right? 6'1", 5'7", 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", 6'2". So like these are 3 different guys. So we're gonna check them out in this year's draft. See how it goes. And there's gonna be a battle for the tight ends. I don't know who's gonna make this squad. Ty Carey's here, but we got Davis Allen and Bryson Hopkins. They're not going to cost us much to give up as well. But I did snag up Noah Gray for a reason. I did snag up Tommy Tremble for a reason. So we need to make sure we keep those guys ready to roll. So that'll do it. I appreciate everyone that stopped by today. We're just going to go ahead and fine tune the rest of the league. Make sure like the players are in the right spots so that no one gets moved around. Turn off the trading, practice squad stealing, all that. Set up for week number 3 of the preseason. And then go from there. So looking forward to watching some of these games, seeing how it goes. I don't think I'll be making a video for the preseason. I don't think there's really much we can do there, or it's really necessary for us. If anything, I might just highlight some of the trades that occurred in a quick clip, but nothing too crazy. So if you like what you saw today, everybody, please drop a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. Definitely looking forward to seeing Travis Hunter balling out for us at the corner position. And I think the Rams are in a good spot to hopefully take it a step further here. They were 5-12 last season. I appreciate everyone's time today. Y'all have yourself a good one. Let's keep it going, Rams.